بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. السلام عليكم. عيدكم مبارك وكل عام وأنتم بخير. Still dealing with a reviewing sequence 2, me, my personality and life experiences. Today's lesson is dealing with pronunciation of id endings. Id endings. We shall proceed quickly to the presentation. Okay, we have three pronunciations: id, t, and d. As a presentation, there are three different ways to pronounce the id endings of regular verb or verbs in the simple past tense: id, t, or d. The pronunciation depends on the sounds at the end of the infinitive of the main verb and whether it is voiced or not. It means voiceless. A voiced sound is one that vibrates in your throat when you say it. As examples, and try, listen and repeat. Id pronunciation: started, affected, represented, arrested, exploded, decided, needed. Then we try to see why it is pronounced id. Now, to sound: liked, walked, experienced, influenced, wished, hoped, stressed. Now, the last one with the d pronunciation: encouraged, loved, enjoyed, studied, preferred, caused, opposed. Now listen and repeat in a context. Examples. Id: my mother represented Algeria. The conflict exploded later during the event of a stave. My French school teacher walked, dealing with T, walked with high-heeled shoes. Joanna Rowling, the writer that wrote Harry Potter, Joanna Rowling has published the Harry Potter series. Mrs. Rayleigh encouraged me to write short stories and poems. Joanna Rowling enjoyed being a teacher. Now, we try to state the rule. Id is pronounced id after the following sounds. Remember, there are sounds t and d. So whenever we have regular verb, ends with the sounds t and d, the verb is pronounced in the past simple tense id. Now, ed is pronounced t after the following sounds: p, k, f, th, s, sh, and ch. Ed is pronounced d after the following sounds. It means the rest of all the sounds that we have: b, g, v, th, j, j, l, m, n, ing, r, plus all the vowels, diphthongs, and triphthongs. It means the rest of the sounds. Now, let's practice task 1. Listen carefully to the pronunciation of the ed endings, then identify the intruder. It means the one out in each list. You have to cross it out. Here, we need to hear ed at the end of each verb. Completed, demanded, liberated, wanted, ended, studied, folded. Now we have an intruder word here. The second one, we need to hear t. Checked, passed, wrapped, raw, laughed, rushed, and matched. The last one, we need to hear d. Lived, died, colonized, nursed, suffered, employed, joined. Okay, shall I repeat? Lived, died, colonized, nursed, suffered, employed, joined. Let's say the correction. So in the first line we have studied. Okay, it is pronounced the, not like completed, studied. Okay, demanded, id, but studied ends with the. Now in this line we have rubbed. This is the one out, the one odd out. Okay, sorry, the odd one out. Rubbed, because we need to have the pronunciation of t, just like checked, passed, rubbed. Laughed, this is a f sound, by the way. Laughed, يضحك. Rushed and matched, sorry, ch. Now the last one with the, we have nursed with t here. This is the odd one out. Lived, died, colonized, nursed, suffered, employed, and joined. We have another activity. Now listen carefully to the pronunciation of each verb in the list, then classify it in the corresponding column. The columns we have id, t, and d. So, watched, washed, resisted, interviewed, replaced, reminded, remembered, insisted, oppressed, traveled, occupied, cared, invaded, kicked, avoided, invented. Okay, I'm going just to repeat. Watched, washed. Okay, to watch TV, for example. To wash your hands. Resisted, interviewed, replaced, reminded, remembered, insisted, oppressed, traveled, occupied, cared, invaded, kicked, avoided, invented. Now, according to the pronunciation, you will have correction. So, in each column, resisted, reminded. Okay, remember the rule. Whenever we have t or d, so the pronunciation will be id. Resisted, reminded, insisted, invaded, avoided, invented. Now t, we have watched, washed, replaced. Okay, C or S are pronounced s. Replaced, oppressed, kicked. D pronunciation with the rest of the verbs. Interviewed, remembered, traveled, occupied, and cared. So you have a suggested task. In the following sentences, is the id ending and the highlighted word pronounced d, t, or id? Okay, you have to write in your copybooks or in your sheet of paper. They thanked him for the tea. Now you have to write either id, d, t. Your car is damaged. We helped them clear the path. I rented, okay, not this verb. I rented a small apartment. Sorry, this verb. I rented a small apartment. John walked for miles. She never wanted to hurt you. The dog recovered. The police hunted the killer. It rained very hard last night. I stopped listening 10 minutes ago. Now this is all for today. Till next time, inshallah. Thanks for watching. Goodbye, my dear learners. وعيدكم مبارك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.